Okay, we're going to be inserting a couple of images into our code and learning how to do that. The code for an image, to bring an image into your page, is pretty simple. However, there are several problems that could occur while you're doing that, and so it becomes a little bit difficult if you're not careful. So I'm going to show you how to add the image tag to your code and make it work to insert an image onto your page. So the first thing you need to do is right-click on your HTML document, of course, and edit with Notepad so we can see the code. And we've got the table of information. You can put the images really anywhere you want. You can put them inside the table or outside. For this assignment, I would just do it outside the table. So click on the closing table tag, press enter, and we're going to stick the image tag right there, both of them right there. We need to for the assignment. So I will go back. Now, we need to find images. So if you find an image online, you right-click on that image and save image as. And make sure you save it to your files. If you just save it to the default location, it will be in the downloads, which is right here. And you could go to downloads and then move the image into your files. Now, to get the tag, we need to go to W3 Schools. So go to w3schools.com and click Learn HTML, and then in your menu over here on the left side, if you don't see that menu, click the little pancake menu or the hamburger menu, the 3 lines right here, and it will show up. So then you scroll down to HTML images, which is right here, and it gives a rundown of all the code used in images, and there's lots of information. And here we've got 3 attributes in the image tag: source, alternate text, and style attributes of height and width. I like where it separates out width and height as 2 separate attributes, so I'm going to scroll down a little ways to this one. Makes it a little more uniform between or among all the attributes. So I'm going to click Try It Yourself. They've got an image here, and this is what it looks like. So we've got, it's funny thing about the image tag, it's just an opening tag with 4 attributes inside of it. And so there's no closing tag. It's just all contained within the opening tag. Okay, the source is the name of the image. So the file name with the extension. This happens to be a GIF image, .gif. Most of them will be JPEGs, .jpg. Some will be PNGs, .png. And I'll show you how to find that in your files, that information. Also, we need to direct it to where the images are saved. So by default, the browser is going to search in your files right next to, in the same folder that your HTML document is in. So right here is where we need to put the pictures by default, but I want you to have an images folder. So click here if you don't have the images folder, inside the same folder with your HTML document, and name it images. Whether it's capital, lowercase, doesn't really matter, but you have to remember that to put it in your code. And now when I go into my images folder, I have several images here. So I have saved them from online, placed them here inside the images folder. Okay, going back to W3 Schools. Now I can test this out right here if I put, or if I delete this 5, so it just says HTML, and run it. It doesn't show the picture because it's the wrong file name now. It's got to have that HTML5, that number 5 at the end. And it's the wrong, well, it can't find the file now. So instead, it places the alternate text there. And so that's something that describes the picture. This is the HTML5 icon, and it's not there, so it displays the alternate text. Also, that could be read by a browser reader. If somebody is blind or hard of seeing, they can read it, and it will read the alternate text, or they can, yeah, they can do that. Okay, the width and the height is how many pixels it displays the picture in. So this is the same height and width. Let me put the 5 back so it recognizes it and finds it. Now I can change that if I put a, let's see, a 1 in front of it and run it. It's going to be very wide because now it's 1100 pixels instead of 100 wide. So that's just the size of the image. Okay, so now that we know the parts of it, I can just click and drag on this and copy, Control C, and come back to my code, wherever it is, here, and I'm going to paste it below the table tag, Control V. Okay, there it is. Now, on my page, so I'll save that and go back to the browser. Wherever that is, there it is. And refresh it. Now the picture didn't come up, but the alternate text did. So that means it recognizes my code. However, the source is not the right source, and I don't have an HTML5 GIF image in my folder. Gotta get these sorted out. Okay. I don't have an HTML5 image anywhere, so I'm going to change it to WAVE, and it's a JPEG file. See right here the file type. Make sure, here's my pictures in large icon view, but make sure to display it in the details view so that I can see the type of file. The first two are PNGs, and the last four are JPEGs. So the WAVE is a JPEG. So I go back to my code, and I type wave.jpg, and I save that, and I can tell you right now it's not going to show up again. Oh, let me change the alternate. Let me change something else about it. So it's no longer the HTML5 icon, it's a wave. I'll put ocean wave. Okay, I'll save that and refresh this. Now it changed the alternate text, but it still doesn't show the image. And the reason is because in my file system, it is looking by default for the image right here. So if I took that image out of here, I'm just going to copy it for now, and then I'll delete it later. If I pasted it here, now it should find it. I've already saved that. I just go back to the browser, refresh, and now the image is in the right spot for the browser to find it. But I want it in the images folder, so I'm going to delete that. It is in the images folder, but I need to show it how to find it, the browser. And so inside the parentheses right here, I'm going to type images, and it's lowercase, just like my folder was, and then a / wave. And so now it says, oh, it's in a folder called images, and then I'll search for the file. So save that, go back, refresh, and it's still there. But now it's finding the wave.jpg file in the images folder. So then I could just copy and paste this code, or this tag, press enter and Control V, paste, and I can get another image, which I could do the, let's do a PNG. Let's do the birds PNG. So I'll go back to the code and I'll change it. It's still in the images folder, so I'm going to change all of this to birds, and I think it was capitalized, .png, because that's what the file type was. So I'll save that, I'll go back to the browser, and refresh, and then I've got my birds there, the image of my birds, the wave and the birds right next to each other. And there's the two images. So that's it for the images. The tricky thing, if you can't find them, the images, or if they're not showing up, make sure the alternate text is there. And if the alternate text is there, change that right real quick. If the alternate text is there, that's a good sign. That usually means the source is incorrect. So you have to make sure that all capitals are correct, lower cases. The file extension is a big one, a big problem sometimes. So make sure it's the right, the name of the file correct, and that it's looking in the right folder, in the images folder. So that's it for pictures.